introduce one of our co-founders who's going to make the next presentation, Robert McConnell.
Thank you, Brad. I'm here to introduce Senator Chuck Grassley, who could not be here tonight. He's one of our awardees. He's the oldest serving member of the United States Senate, and I know from personal experience with him over the years, he has supported Ukraine since long before independence, back in the days of captive nations and so forth. He, since the beginning of the war in 2014, he has been an active participant in legislation, in speeches, pushing us to do what we ought to do, meaning our government. He has a special interest in the last few years in the children, the abducted children. He and the recipient of one of the recipients of our Star of Ukraine Award last year, Senator Klobuchar, they co-sponsor a piece of legislation they are trying to get on the floor that calls for sanctions because of the children, the abductions. And Senator Grassley's view is that we should not have any peace negotiated with until we get all the children back. Are the pictures? Yeah, they're. I presented him his Star of Ukraine Award last week in his office, and we talked about this, and we talked about the foundation's Forget Me Not campaign using the flower, this flower, as a symbol, not forgetting the children, not forgetting the POWs, not forgetting the war crimes committed against them, but also we have started, the foundation has started, the Forget Me Not Ukrainian Families Advocacy Council. Have started gathering influencers from around the world to make people know and understand the genocide taking place relating to the abducted children. There's a chart up there. Countries have sanctioned individuals and organizations related to the abducting of children. Ukraine, you see, has, I think it's 260. What does the United States have? 60. Why? If there's 260 that have been involved directly in these abductions, why aren't we and the other countries sanctioning all of those people? We need to work toward that happening. We're not even second on the list. Anyway, so we presented him the award. I don't want to take up too much time, but Senator Grassley captured, I think, a fundamental thing. As we were leaving, Bob, you know, if we lived up to the Budapest Memorandum, we wouldn't be here. Senator Grassley, for as long as I've known him, he's been a man of his word. He believes that if you give your word, you live up to it. And it's time our country did.
I'm really honored to join the company of some great Americans and some great Ukrainians who have received the Star of Ukraine Award. Throughout the Cold War, America served as a beacon of freedom to captive nations like Ukraine. You remember Ronald Reagan famously spoke of our nation being a shining city on the hill. As Abraham Lincoln said, the United States was conceived in liberty, and it's why Americans naturally feel a kinship towards nations struggling for their freedom and independence. So supporting Ukraine comes naturally to Americans as that country defends itself against a resurgent evil empire. The KGB dictator in the Kremlin doesn't hold hostile intent just for Ukraine, but towards our country and everything America stands for. Ukrainians are going without power or heat now in sub-zero temperatures because Russia has targeted civilian power plants. Churches in occupied areas of Ukraine have been closed, and Christians have been persecuted if they don't want to accept the authority of the Russian Orthodox Church and its KGB leader who answers only to Putin. Tens of thousands of Ukrainian children have been abducted. They're currently held in camps, facing intensive efforts to erase their national identity and even militarize them to fight against their own countrymen. After World War II, we Americans realized that European security is intertwined with our own security. That's why we helped create NATO to prevent another war on the European continent that would cost the United States a terrible toll in blood and money. My work in the Senate to help Ukraine as it defends itself in the largest war in Europe since World War II stems from my own patriotism. Supporting Ukraine is supporting American security and, more importantly, American values. So, I thank you for your recognition of my work, and of course, may God bless America, and may God bless Ukraine.